Alright, let's see what we got here. My Google verification code. Because everything has to be double authenticated these days. It'll work. It'll work. Not the best, but it'll work. In a pinch. It's better if I figure out some way of doing audio and close, run a mic to it. Alright. It's still warm. Honda had pulled up about 6 feet, which he has the room. I could have got out, but nope. And she just pulled up over 10 feet just now. There are people in this world whose job it is add to his cynicism that there are people in this world whose HDMI 1. I don't believe they are isn't being built of yesterday's aesthetics with today's techniques. I would say today's technology, but that makes it sound wonderful and beautiful. A lot of the techniques of today are just cheap rip-off copies, and I'm not very fond of most postmodern things. I'm remembering Professor Munson, who talked about, it was my last art teacher in college, and he talked about the difference between, how would you say it, the aesthetics of things, and how postmodern versus modern, there's beauty in the idea of form follows function, and that if you have an aesthetic idea, it should follow some sort of function, some design purpose. And I give a great example. These, what they call them, McMansions now. People, they have these houses, they have to have their 3-car garage, and their grand entry that looks like you're stepping into a road buried somewhere deep beneath, and it's just usually slapped up with something bad happens, like, not necessarily bad, but as soon as time hits these things, they start getting ugly very fast. Because it's not like you have a house where, like a Roman villa would be made of if there is a brick-like substance, chances are it's what's called, it looks like brick. If it's the more expensive character, a statue that's made of material that oxidizes and it turns a color that a lot of people find pleasing. That's called patina. But I mean, you set a piece of furniture out and that's not meant to be outside, that's made of a cheap material like particle board, Or I'm sure they come up with a new euphemism for particle board that makes it sound noble. It isn't. It's just cheap. A little bit of water gets into it. Yuck. And I've seen that where people have set out pieces of furniture on their porch that are made of materials that can't withstand weathering. Because, you know, materials that can withstand weathering, chances are that when they do weather, it creates character. As a matter of fact, another postmodern thing that I really don't like is people who take stuff and make it look weathered in a certain way by adding paint to it, or like, I'm not pleased by that at all. You know, if you have something that you want to be weathered, it should just be weathered naturally. Don't try and go get a look that you want. So yeah, there's a lot of value in good design and things being true to form, real. Like if your building is a metal frame building with a glass facade, then go with it. You know, show the. There was a build. I don't know what it was for. Maybe who knows. Some spectacular video online if you want to look at it. And I looked at the building, and the building sat there for a long time with this big piece taken out of the corner. And I thought, wouldn't it be neat if they just glassed it in and kind of left it as a usable ruin? You know, like you could remodel the building. It's very funny, but interesting story to tell. And you kind of see the exposed bone glass elevator in. And oopsies. Hey, why don't you plug the thing into power and keep the battery going? Miles. It's always the same with them. They act like they are dead tired when they get in the car. They're out. Ding. His lights are out. Visiting angels. Bathing assistants, dressing assistants. This past couple weeks, you could say a lot of that stuff for us. But the problem isn't necessarily the need of that. I mean, I'm sure you could find ways of accommodating infirmities in people.